Good morning, everyone. I apologize for the delayed start. We were having a couple of technical issues, but we're here now. This is Tiffany Kinney speaking, and I'm part of the home-based professional learning team here at DPI. I also have on the line Justin Hunter. Say hey, Justin.
Morning. Good morning.
We may have a few others join us here in just a few minutes. But you have joined the EO Process Q&A webinar. There's not a formal presentation today, but there are some updates that Justin is going to provide, and then we're going to open it up for questions after that. And we do have a presentation link on the screen. This is from our process webinar that we had a couple of weeks back for your reference. So before we get started, I want to do a quick sound check for you guys. So if you can hear me, if you would use your little hand in the panel, if you'll raise your hand if you can hear me clearly. Yay! Looks like everybody can hear us, so I'm going to put your hands down. If you can see the screen right now that says presentation to begin soon, and we're actually starting now, if you can raise your hand for me if you can see the screen. All right, wonderful. All right, I see lots of familiar faces. Well, happy Friday, you guys. I'm going to put your hands down. We've made it to Friday, right? So a couple housekeeping things as well. If you have any questions, if you will send them in through the questions area, I will be monitoring those along with Justin as he can. And we will try to get to those as soon as possible. We also are recording this session, so we are hoping to get this posted also, the recorded link, and be included in the Home-Based Weekly today. The EOY process webinar we had a few weeks back is already posted on our NCSIS site as well, so if you need to reference that, it is there. We may use the chat feature to send any kind of documentation or point you the right way. Otherwise, you can use that question panel. So if there's no further questions, we're ready, Justin.
All right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start out with just some announcements that I want to share with you guys before we get into the EOY Q&A. The maintenance weekend that is scheduled for this weekend includes these items on the page. The ALP report's one I've had a lot of questions on. The fix that's going out for the ALP, I realize that that report is due pretty soon. If you're able to run your reports and approve them, then you have no issues, and this fix is not for you. This fix is just for a select group of LEAs that have some errors, and they know who they are. So no need to unapprove after the maintenance weekend and run it again. And that's the same for the discipline report. So both of these reports had we had some issues where we needed to increase the field limit, and we've done that so that the LEAs who were not able to submit can now submit, well, after the maintenance weekend. Starting end time, we've got a piece going in that's going to trigger the display year for the start and end time after EOY. For the legislative class size, the fall snapshot date will be changed from the end of September to the end of October, so that's going in. CFU has a fix to look at the correct year. We had issues where it was looking at the wrong year in some cases, and we've had a couple tickets coming in and calls and emails. You know, we understand that graduations and everything are going on, but this is something we had to get in place so that those reports could be submitted. So we are going to take the system down at 5 o'clock today, but we hope to return it by midday tomorrow. So just be sure by 5 o'clock today, if you've got graduations going on tonight, you've pulled all of those transcripts, made the changes you need to before then. All right, so here's some of the bigger items that I know everybody's waiting on. PowerSchool 19.4 upgrade, we have decided to delay it. That will not happen over the maintenance weekend as we initially planned. The problem is we've just got so many urgent projects going on that we have to finish testing, and we can't upgrade our test environments to the latest version of PowerSchool until all of these projects pass QA in the current version. So because we've still got some hangups with like Cross LEA and ECAT and other items, we're not going to be able to upgrade all the test instances. So we're hoping we can finish up those projects in the next week or two. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks for our QA team to go through the upgrade. So we're looking at upgrading late July, early mid-August. But there'll be more information coming out on that. I just wanted to let you guys know. We may schedule another webinar just for the upgrade to kind of talk through what that might look like, but I do want to wait just because so many things are going on right now. I want to wait and let our QA team finish up with the projects that they're almost finished with. Public preschool children update. I have now been brought into those meetings. We met, I think it was last week, and I've got a little blurb that's going out today. We really don't have anything as far as guidance yet, but this is not a need until mid-August from what I understand. So we're just going to focus on what we've got going on now. But these are the requirements. Several people asked why we have to do that. ESSER requires us to report the number and percentage of students enrolled in pre-K programs. And then there's another requirement for pre-K suspensions and expulsions. So again, there's a memo coming out today in the newsletter. If you want to read that, review it, share it with other directors in the building so that everyone's on the same page. And then we've got another meeting scheduled in another week or two, and I'll get that information out to you as well. Infield, out of field. This report has a due date. I don't recall. It's June 25th or 26th. We know the data is not accurate. We've got some LEAs that we've pulled in to help us, and we've reported some of the issues that we've seen and that those LEAs have reported to Power School, and they're working on that. But our team is actually, today they have a meeting with the business owner of Infield Out of Field, and there will be a communication in today's bulletin. I don't have that information yet, but if you'll look this afternoon in the bulletin, you'll see the latest. And then the extended grade. Many of you heard that we were going to use the XG for EC students who are returning after grade 12. That's in the works, but I don't think, after some testing yesterday, I don't think we're going to be able to pull it off by the start of the school year. So as far as that goes, don't worry about using it yet. We just have to make sure that the XG, I mean, we can go in and add the grade level, but we have to make sure it doesn't impact the reports negatively. And right now, we've got to make sure the GDV, the retention promotion report and those things work as they should if we enter this. So we're going to work with Power School on getting that put in place. Dual language immersion. So I told you guys that Lorenzo was coming on site so many times per year and working with us at DPI. He came down. We've got this worked out to where we can now push down special programs from the enterprise controller. So it's set up. We've tested it, and we will be moving forward with pushing down. I'm pretty sure we've decided we're going to call it NC, dual language immersion. Nobody out there has that special program right now. So that will be done during the EOI process. And when you get your access back, you should see that in your special programs. And that's another item that we will be creating some QRDs on, kind of give you guidance on how to schedule those or how to assign those. Another course code update. Today, I was going to include it, but the list was so long. In today's newsletter, there's going to be a spreadsheet with new courses that have been added since I talked to you guys last. So since the last meetup, there's some new CTE courses that have been approved. I think many of them are community college courses that districts pointed out they needed. So in today's spreadsheet that's coming out, those courses will be highlighted in red. Also, there'll be courses highlighted in green. The green course, or the ones highlighted in green, will be the ones you already know about that are new for this year, but the red ones will be the ones that you've not been told about. ECATS update. There are going to be more details in today's newsletter on this, and I think they actually have their own communications going out to different district personnel, but they're soon going to initiate the final data migration with expectations of the go live date to be the July 15th week. And then Power School training. Tiff, I don't know if you have any dates off the top of your head or somewhere handy that you can discuss.
So we do have new user training in August, and those dates are August 12th through the 14th, but right now we are on a wait list. However, I have, in the years past, I know things happen and people drop off, so if you need to get on that new user, and it's a 3-day, just kind of mimics initial product training, but very basic level, Power School, navigation and such, but that is in August. However, there will be other training opportunities coming soon that we're working on. So if you can't get into that training, we will have other opportunities coming soon. And Justin, I also see a question that asks, do we need to set our start and end times for the 1920 school year before EOY?
I do not think that's a requirement. For some reason, I want to say I think we had to do it for ECATS last year, but no, you don't have to do it before EOI, because in some cases you won't know yet. And I think that was the purpose of the maintenance fix, was to trigger it after, the year will show after EOI. So EOI is going to trigger the next display year. That's the only question so far.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Actually, here we go. How do we know if we submitted our registration in time for August training? You should have got a confirmation back from the Google form that said you were registered. So as long as you were able to register, you should be in. What I do is a couple of weeks before, I'll send out a reminder email, at least a week before, a reminder email. And if you can't make it, I just need to know so I can allow someone on the wait list to attend. But if you were able to register, you are in for that August training.
All right, and then last thing on this slide is no summer conference. Rosalind and I talked. We went back and forth, and we've just come to the conclusion that we've got too many things going on that we need to get to, like the upgrade, and really with the staff we have, we need them to be focusing on everything else and bringing stuff to fruition. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to offer a summer conference, but I do think some districts may be working to come up with some other opportunities for their regions. So there may be other things pop up. And as I learn about those, I'll share those out with you guys. All right, and then I think this is the last announcement. There will be a new grad plan for students entering 9th grade beginning 2019. This is all the information I have so far. We are going to be creating that grad plan in the next couple of weeks so that it will be available after EOI. But there are some new math and history things that we have to enter. I think these are new codes, yeah. But they'll be in the 2019 grad plan. So look for more on that. Okay, EOI contacts page. We've tried, I know we've got a small group here on the line, but I'm hoping all of you guys have that up to date. But we've sent out emails, we've created a daily bulletin pop-up, and we are still, let me look on the next slide. Yeah, so we've still got 65 public school units with contact errors. Errors meaning you've got the same person listed for primary and secondary, or you've got blank fields on that screen, or you do not have the correct username, password, or UID information in there. So we are to the point, because we're down to the wire, we're going to start publishing these LEA or charter names in emails. So just know if you've not made any changes, you need to do that, because probably today or Monday we're going to start sending out messages to the entire state, listing those districts who have not done this. We also have 69 public school units with invalid last days of school. That means there's a field on there, and the reason we put that field in there was so we know you went and touched that page. And so we have 69 charters or LEAs who have either a blank last day of school or the date is from last year. So that is important that you all go in there and update that. Next year, that will be a required field. That way we know you can't submit it until you've updated that field. 248 schools who have not set up years and terms for next year, and then 109 units with validation errors. So if you've got issues, if you've got tickets in with the help desk, follow up. If you're not hearing anything back, or if you've got issues, you can reach out to me, because we've got to get these cleaned up. We've got like 2 more weeks. And I'd hate for everybody to wait till the last minute and then us be. All right. Q&A. Does anybody have any EOY questions they want to bring up on the call, or any questions about anything we've shared so far?
Justin, we just had a question come in.
Okay.
And it's regarding Power Teacher Pro. Do we go to Power Teacher Pro settings, grade calculations, manage next year calculations, create calculations? Is this something we need to do? So it shouldn't be your first, well, whatever school you're at, we're all on Power Teacher Pro now. We have been. So, not sure if I understand exactly the question. Let me double check something for you, Shirley. Your school is using Power Teacher Pro though, correct? Okay.
I'm not sure on that one.
First EOY. Next question, do we need to set up calendar for 1920 before EOI?
You do not have to, as long as you set up your years and terms.
Last year, we said you had to because of ECATS, but this year it's not necessary. But yes, years and terms need to be set up. Do we log in as normal for EOY through IAM? Justin, I'll let you address that.
So what's going to happen is, once we get the go-ahead from Power School, you will be able to log in, but no one else will. So yeah, it'll be the same login, but just for those contacts. And let me go back to the contacts real quick. Did Walt ever join us, or Roz?
No, not at this time.
Okay. We have decided, and I don't know if this has been shared out across the state yet, but the EOY contacts from here on is going to be used for our communications with the districts as far as the Power School folks. But Rosalind has asked that this also be the contacts, the technical contacts for Power School. So Power School is going to soon be kicking off their training, their webinar, introduction to their support, and they are asking for this list. So whoever's listed here as primary and secondary will be your people who can log tickets. And I know that's going to probably make some of you go back and change your secondary, because I think in some cases we've got like superintendents or data managers listed in that field. But that is going to be the list that we provide PowerSchool for the technical contacts.
When setting the admin username on the EOY contact page, should this be the 10-digit UID?
From what I understand, and that's why I wish Walt was here, that needs to be what's on the username field if you go to the PowerSchool security page for that user, which in most cases is the 10-digit UID.
Okay. Sorry, I'm typing. All right. EOY contacts, can we have one secondary for EOY purposes and a second one for the technical contact purposes?
We can look at changing up this page, but it won't be for this year.
All right. And some of these questions, Justin, you may have to get some more information on. However, the dual language immersion special programs, what is the purpose of that? Will we have to add this special program to all students in dual immersion classes? Do you know more about that?
The purpose of that is so that we have a way to exclude those from legislative class size reports. So right now, we're not excluding those. We're having to go, after you guys submit the reports, we're having to go in manually and pull those out. So this is going to be a way we're going to provide the requirements to PowerSchool so that when they write the code, it's automatically excluding any student who's in a dual language special program. I see this question from Sandra. Migrant students that are put in by DPI. I would put in a ticket on that. Unless that grade needs to be 12 again. Because what we found yesterday when we were testing the XG, if the grade isn't recognized, if the grade level is not recognized, then the report assumes it's blank. And so it sounds like that's the same as what we had yesterday, is what we saw.
All right. What other questions do we have? Okay. Do you know when the pre-K webinars will be, and how will the webinar notification of the date and time be sent to PowerSchool coordinators?
We actually meet again. I think it's this coming week or the week after. We set the next meeting to be sometime around EOI, but I can't remember if it's before or after. But the purpose of that next meeting is to come together with, share more details on what they've learned, and then set a time for the webinar, which would come 2 weeks following. So sometime by mid-July, I'm thinking we should either have the webinar or know the date of the webinar, and we'll send that out. We'll probably send that out as a standalone and in the newsletter, just to make sure you guys get it.
Okay. I guess Sandra was adding to her question as well. Most coordinators say CPI puts them as grade -6, -6. That was for the migrant.
I would put in a ticket on that, and if you have already put one in, send me the number and I can put it in the right hands.
Can we go ahead and pre-enroll kindergartners for the 1920 school year?
Kindergartners, so we advise you not to pre-enroll students who are active in another instance.
Correct.
We have seen that it creates issues, but then we also know that some of you say, nothing happens. And what we do know is that it does impact students who are active in SchoolNet. So it for sure impacts those students. But, if you're not seeing any problems, it's likely because those students aren't using SchoolNet. But we do know that if the students are active already in another instance and are using SchoolNet, then it will create problems. So we recommend that you hold off.
What other questions may you guys have? Okay.
Just so everyone knows, we have asked PowerSchool to allow us to kick this off earlier than normal. We are still going to send out an email letting you know when you can hit the button to process EOI, but we had a call this week, and just because we've got some larger districts out there that take a long time to process, we are going to try to get you guys access by 6 a.m. Saturday morning.
Okay. What else, you guys? Are all of us required to start at 6 a.m.? No, Francine, for
No.
you, 4 a.m. I'm only kidding. No. We did that really to accommodate, the larger school districts that take all day, like, Wake. But you're not required to start at 6 a.m. And Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, last year we did advise that it be done before noon though, correct?
Well, we wanted everybody to, oh yeah, definitely.
Right, at the latest,
and I think most,
like everybody be
yeah.
done. And most people were. I mean, it didn't take that long. It's only the larger school districts.
Right. The
So
earlier the better, just
the
because
earlier
we've got
the
so many folks that are monitoring it. And, you know, we've got Power School folks, DPI folks, and if we've got schools processing at 6 and then somebody else waiting until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, then that holds our teams up even longer. So the earlier you can go in and process it, the better for everybody. Amanda had a question.
Yeah.
This is her first year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you need help with the validation part of it, but as far as the day of, so you're going to lose access at 5 o'clock. You won't be able to log in, but we're going to use that contact information that you put in on the contact page, provide that to Power School, and they're going to allow you back into access. So you'll be able to log in once we give you the go-ahead Saturday morning. And then all you do is you go back to that page where you've been doing your validation, and there'll be a new link that says Process EOI and Promote Students, and you're going to click that link. And once you've hit the button, you just watch the page and make sure you get no errors, and you're good to go.
So, Justin, I think we just need to make sure we're clear about the start time, because some people were asking when they can start. And my understanding is you will be sending out, we will be sending out a communication when we are ready to go, correct?
Right.
Like an official that morning of.
Yeah. But Rosalind did say yesterday, if you get up and you see the link and it's active, go ahead and push it. You don't have to wait on us.
Right.
Because, you know, we never know. Power School may turn it on at 4 a.m.
That's correct.
So if the link's there and you can run it, then go ahead and do it. But as soon as I know that it's there, we will send out official communication.
Janet, are you talking about your validation errors?
Maybe during EOI. So the validation should be clear before you run it.
Right.
So you'll run your validations one last time, and that should show no errors. And if it does show errors, then go in and clean up what you see. But once you hit the Process EOI button, then if you get errors in your log, that's when you need to contact support.
Right.
And we will have a GoToWebinar set up, and I'll provide that link as we get closer to the time. So you can either call the help desk or just log into that webinar and tell us that there's something in your log and you think maybe it stopped the process, and then we'll work with Power School to restart it. But we had a couple of those last year, but it shouldn't happen. Small group. Fewer questions.
Any other questions? So we do have some follow-up items. Justin sent out a communication with the webinar information. This webinar will be during that Saturday. You will be able to call in if you have any issues, report those to us, and there'll be a group of us here at DPI monitoring that. we'll send out a official communication, saying, you know, we now see that you can process your EOY. However, if you see it active for you to go through with it before Justin sends out that official communication, then you may go ahead and start. You can press the button, right, Justin?
Correct. Yep.
And just a reminder, the entire EOY process webinar, where Justin stepped through that process and we provided the documentation, is already on the NCSIS, and I will drop that link to where that lives. So you can, if you need to refer back to that webinar. And what we'll do here today is we will get the recording of this one in today's bulletin. So I'm going to drop the link, and this link will take you to the recording that, or the EOY webinar recording we did on May 15th. It will also take you to the user guide as well. There we go. Justin, maybe you can answer this. At what point after EOY do we submit a ticket for grade levels to be removed? Where do we place that ticket? Still same process, or at that point with PowerSchool?
I think we probably have tickets like that coming in already, just to give support a heads up. So you can go ahead and do that now if you know that's coming. But that will still be home-based support. We won't be transitioning to PowerSchool support until around the middle of July. Last I heard was July 15th.
What else, you guys?
Looks like that's it.
Shirley, I know I need to follow up with you as well. Anything else? We scheduled it initially for an hour, so we do have a little more time. But if there's no other questions, then we will give you back a few minutes in your Friday. Oh, Rosalind, we were about to end the webinar. So Rosalind has joined us. And maybe Rosalind wants to say something.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you for your support and your dedication. I'm going to miss you all, but just know that you're doing good work for all the kids, and we hope that we have been able to provide that level of service that you need, but just know that you're being left in the capable hands of some folks here who are going to continue to advocate for what you need. So I just want to thank you for the years, and hopefully our paths will cross again. I'm hopeful that at DHHS they may put me on some projects that work with pre-K kids. So I hope is that we'll get to connect again through other areas. But just want to wish you a farewell and say thanks. I'll still be hanging out. I'm on Facebook, so just hit me up, and just hope to see you again.
Francine says, Rosalind, we are sure going to miss you. Shirley, thank you, Rosalind, for everything. We're going to miss and love you. Hi, Roz. Today is the day. Best wishes from Avis. So today we're trying to soak up all that knowledge today, what we can get out of her right now. But we're gonna truly miss Rosalind. So you've been awesome.
Thank you.
I'm reading the comments for her. But we were just wrapping up our Q&A, so I wanted you to have the opportunity.
I might surprise you. I might show up EOI morning.
I know. I feel like she's gonna be here with us. So, oh, she'll pop in, right? All right. Anything else before we?
I saw Marcia had a good question.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in this presentation, I think it says slide 15, we did give guidance, or we said there was guidance coming on running those stored grade reports, but Power School has asked, just like last year when we had the problem where everyone in the state started processing that at the same time and trying to pull the stored grade, and I think there's even something on the teacher side. Tiffany, you may be more familiar with it, but Roz, are you familiar with the Power teacher reports
I'm
that
not.
they're pulling?
Exporting the stored grades?
I don't know that there's anything on the teacher. I'm not aware of anything on the teacher side.
I didn't think so.
No, not on the
It's a stored grades report that all districts, you guys are pulling that all at once, and when everybody on your server is doing it, then it's going to kick a message back, and I think you're limited to 20 being processed at the same time. So you'll get an alert saying there's already 20 going. So just advise folks in your district, or stagger it somehow, pull grade levels at a time, or however you can to limit the processing. And to my knowledge, that's the only report that really bogged the system down.
Best wishes from Cherokee County. You were their personal,
Yeah.
the trainer for the NCY.
I
so
was.
all the best.
You tell that Gina I said hello. I follow you guys a lot, and you're doing some great stuff out there.
She said I will. Amanda said I will. Well, if there's no further questions, Justin, I think we can go ahead and end this webinar. I will work with Yolanda on getting this posted today, this recording, and if you have any questions, just please let us know. We'll have some follow-up communications to be sent out very soon about the day of. And am I missing anything, Justin?
No, just be sure you grab today's newsletter and look over that, because there's a lot of information that we're putting out today that you probably need to share with others in your district.
All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys.
All right.
We're going to give you eight minutes back, and we hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.